development without research. පර්යේෂණ වලින් තොර වූ සංවර්ධනයක් නොමැත. And the IRD, or the Institute for Research and Development for Health and Social Care in Sri Lanka, is convening this meeting to engage the country in our efforts to promote research as part of our development culture. And I am to start off by telling you very briefly about the IRD. To introduce the IRD to those of you who do not know about it, or who do not know much about it, but equally importantly, to demonstrate that when we talk about research aligned with development, that we can walk the talk and demonstrate that research institutions can be more than an academic venture and can be set up geared to contribute to the development of the country, and on a broader level, a broader scale. So as you can see, the IRD is built on three proverbial candle rather than complain about the dark, and make research a part of the development of the country. The IRD ethos is to build a successful and sustainable, independent research infrastructure. Our foundation lies in three pillars: research, ethics, and community engagement and involvement, with the foundation of global health collaborations. And we work towards policy impact. And the aim of all this is to support the development of the country through capacity building as well as in other ways. And the last point of research grants is how we make our money. That is also a critically important part of making research a part of our development, because obviously without money we can't do that. I will talk about it more in a later slide. So supporting the development of the country is our ultimate aim. And when we started off, it is indeed a long march which we had to do starting from scratch. The IRD story began in 1997 with the setup of the Institute for Research and Development in Health and Social Care, along with the Sri Lankan Twin Registry, which was our first research project. It was set up in a single room in 1997, and then we gradually moved on to several rooms and to what we are today, which is a large office based in Battaramulla, and we are moving to a new premises very soon, because we have grown so much that we need a little more space as well. As I told you, the foundation of the Institute for Research and Development is teamwork, and this I wanted to show you first of all the part of our team which has been involved with the IRD from 1997 for over 25 years now. And IRD's local and international collaborators are what has made this journey possible. So as you can see, we have local collaborations with the Ministry of Health, primarily with people like Dr. Sunil Dialvis being critical and core to our work in the Ministry of Health, the Family Health Bureau, the Epidemiology Unit, the Universities of Moratuwa, the National Science Foundation, the NIEFS, all of that has been local collaborators who have been very supportive of our work. We also have regional collaborations which we think are extremely important, because if the low and middle income countries are to have a voice in the global arena, collaborations among low and middle income countries is extremely important, and we have built a lot of collaborations primarily with India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, where we believe that we can make a joint effort to make the voices from our part of the world heard. Well, international collaborations are obviously those that have provided us with the majority of the funding and made most of our work possible. So we have been primarily helped, originally our first collaborations were with the King's College London, and then with the Keele University, the Cambridge University, University of Liverpool, we currently have a massive project going on. So with the University of Bristol, which has been extremely helpful in our work, and as well as universities in Australia, and as I showed you earlier, in many parts of the world, we have worked with them. And the first pillar of our work is the research, and you can see a tiny portion of our research publications on the side of this, but primarily we have worked on twin research primarily, then on mental health research and genetics, which is part of these three are the core parts of our research work. Then ethics is the second part of what we have been working on, because we believe that research should not be carried out, particularly in our part of the world, without taking ethical considerations into account. And that is why our second pillar in our work is ethics, and we insist on ethical considerations being taken into account in all our research work, and we encourage globally as well to, for example, in a recent Medical Research Council UK meeting, Professor Atula Sumatipala, who is a member of that committee meeting, suggested and made sure that any further research grants will not be awarded to research applications which do not have ethical considerations taken into account. That was not part of the MRC UK's mandate previously, but because of the voice that was initiated by Professor Sumatipala, this was taken up. So ethics is a key part of our work, the second pillar. The third and the most crucial pillar that we work on is community engagement and involvement. It is only now, or in the past maybe 4-5 years, that the world has taken into account that community should be engaged in research and development work. However, the IRD started involving the community 17 years ago with the publication of the trilingual research journal, Gaveshana, which was in the committee that you saw earlier, Professor Gominda Ponnam Peruma and Dr. Godwin Kodituapu and others who were there, Dr. Dayaratna, who started off publication of this, the research journal, so that the work can be made, so that the public can be made aware of the work that we do and engage them in this work. Which brings me to the crux of all of these efforts, which is to build capacity in Sri Lankan people. So, Mr. Arunavali Sundaran. So it's a good example, so that is why we are talking about him first. He joined the IRD as a research assistant, and 15 years ago. And then he was groomed to be a science journalist, and he won the SLASS award for Best Science Editor in 2019. So capacity building is not just creating scientists alone or doctors or getting MScs or PhDs, but also to make it a broader core part of the efforts that we take to build capacity amongst all sectors, not just in one specific, not just in mental health or not just in genetics. So capacity building in the IRD has been very successful. If you look at the IRD associates who got PhDs at foreign universities just over the past 4 years, you can see these are the groups. Then we also think that institutional and system capacity building is a critically important thing. So we participate a lot in capacity building in our other institutions in Sri Lanka. We are guest lecturers, visiting lecturers at multiple universities, including the Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, Colombo Medical Faculty. The picture that you see there is one of the pre-MD training programs that was run by the Community Medicine Dentistry Department of the PGIM, so which the IRD participated in and supported. We take research placements from many private universities for our genetics lab, which allows the practical work experience for these students of these institutions. We do not limit our efforts for system capacity building to the local situation. We try to take our voice to the global arena as well. So we carried out research responsibility and regulation, the ethical challenges in global health research, to create awareness about the need for global health research and the need for ethical global health research in the Western world, where we carried out this workshop to explore practical and theoretical ethical challenges in global health research at the Keele University with the participation of the faculty from many UK universities. We also talked of the ethics of data sharing and biobanking in health research, because you know that biological data, the biological information from our part of the world sometimes just gets taken away into the higher income countries, and which makes local researchers just mere data gatherers. So we say that it is very important to ensure that data belongs to where it is collected, and that research capacity should be built in our part of the world, rather than merely relegating us to the role of a data gatherer. Possible. We make it possible by keeping costs very, very low, but we have also been the recipients of many grants from HIC, obviously. We have had over 15 Wellcome Trust grants, over 5 MRC grants, and altogether, over the past few years, we have, can somebody help me? This is moving to the, okay. Right, thank you, that's fine. So over the past few years, we have brought in nearly £1 billion in research funding, £2.5 million in today's money would be almost 900 million rupees, into research projects carried out in Sri Lanka. This is how we have made it possible in our part of the world. We have had funding from the World Bank, the World Health Organization, the NIHR, the Medical Research Council, many organizations, for which we are very grateful. So lastly, this brings me to, I told you all about the work of the IRD, what the IRD has been doing, and lastly, I'm going to introduce you to the person who made this all possible and who was recognized by the government of the country through the National Science Foundation Awards in 2018, where the Institute of Research and Development was awarded Excellence in International Collaborations, and Professor Sumathipala personally was awarded Individual Outstanding Leadership in Promoting and Developing Science and Technology. So he is the person, the gentleman who's going to address you next, and he's the person who is the co-founder, he's a founder director of the Institute for Research and Development, and he's also now the chairman of the National Institute of Fundamental Studies in Kandy, Sri Lanka. He's an emeritus professor of 2 top UK universities, of emeritus professor of global mental health of the King's College, and of psychiatry of the Keele University. He was the first Sri Lankan to be awarded the H.B. Williams Travelling Professorship of the Royal College of Australian and New Zealand College of Psychiatrists. And he is a member of the Regional Expert Group on Mental Health for the WHO Southeast Asia region. Very importantly, he's a co-editor of the Ceylon Medical Journal, as well as an associate editor of the British Journal of Psychiatry, a recognition that is rarely awarded to people from our part of the world. So he was the founder director of the IRD, as I told you, and he's the one who has brought out this ethos of there should be no development without research, and he will address you now.